get off the internet and go hug a tree. Jesus Christ. Hey everybody, welcome back, and today I thought we would have a look at Twin Paranormal subreddit. Because I've not had a lot of it directed at myself, but I'm a peasant with 260 subscribers, so of course I haven't. But I have seen a lot of hate and vitriol being thrown around by Twin Paranormal fans on YouTube. And I had a couple of comments last night from my fans basically saying, like, surely Twin Paranormal fans are bored of it at this point. Every video is the same, they're all boring, nothing happens, they don't actually investigate, they don't do anything. It's just all mindless fluff. So I thought we would jump over and have a look at their subreddit, their fan subreddit, and see what people are actually saying. But if any of that sounds interesting to you, go grab a drink, maybe like the video and subscribe if I'm lucky, and we will jump over and go have a look at that subreddit. So, in my opinion, their subreddit is actually surprisingly small. So it's only got 3.2k members. And if you compare that to their YouTube channel, where they have 1.1 million, that is really surprising. So their subreddit, for the amount of subscribers they have on YouTube, is empty. Do they have a Patreon? No, they don't appear to have a Patreon. And I don't think you can see the amount of YouTube members somebody has. Hello, baby. No. Okay. So if we have a look at their social blade, B-, it's not bad. Yeah, so they do seem to be on a steady uptick still, even if it's plateaued though, because like if you look back here where they were spiking up in 2023 and again in 2024, now like you get a couple of, like, they're still growing, don't get me wrong, it's still like 10k, but it's nothing like it used to be. And they're still getting decent views though, but that's probably because of the clickbait. Okay, so actually to the point. I'm not going to read everything, I'll just read out something if it's relevant. Like if it's criticism or like high praise, I guess. Yeah, 10 days ago. Frustrated with how much they use ChatGPT. I've been a big fan of the boys' content for a little over a year now. Definitely not as committed as I was in the beginning, but their content has always been fun to watch. The past few videos I've gotten back into them, trying to catch up with new uploads. But their excessive use of AI really rubs me the wrong way. I think using tarot card readings as communication is really cool, but I wish they would take the time to learn how to do it themselves, or find someone who can. Not only is it horrible for the environment, it's impossible to actually trust what it says. I find that the readings ChatGPT give can be pretty accurate to what tarot readers would think, but it feels really ingenuine. I think taking the time to actually learn to understand tarot, or focusing more on their older and more hands-on methods, would bring back a lot of what made their videos so enjoyable. The AI goggles already felt kinda weird to me, so bringing in even more into their videos is pretty bothersome. Other than this, loving the episode so far. I agree, if they're using the cards they need to understand them better and learn how to read them without AI. I also wish they would put a mix in the headphones when they go under so we can hear that as well. The boys channel do this and it makes it so instant. Okay. But yeah, no, I do agree, but I think the problem and the way they won't do that is because half the time it's not actually turned on. They did something like that several videos ago so we could hear what was actually being said during the S-test method. I don't know why they only did it the one time though. Probably because it made it too difficult for them and it didn't get the views. Like, it didn't help with the views, so they went back to how it was. I totally agree, and just talked to my husband about it while we were watching a recent episode. ChatGPT will tell you exactly what you want to hear. Actually it doesn't. If you train it right, it doesn't. Because my ChatGPT will call me out because I've told it to do so. You have to train it though, otherwise yes, it is very much a yes man. So much so that ChatGPT can even induce psychosis by feeding into someone's ideas. Yes, I can definitely see the dangers of it. So I feel like when they start using it, it's just to seem less professional, I guess. Especially if the AI knows where they're investigating and the backstory of the location. Oh, it just makes them seem less professional. Yes, no, they never seemed professional in the first place, let's be fair, but yeah, they're probably using it, one, because it's easier, and two, because it gets the results that they want, and three, they're relying on people not really understanding how it works. I agree, I'm not a big fan of them using AI for tarot readings, and I cringe a lot during those segments. It just doesn't seem genuine since they're feeding all the information to the AI, so it will almost always tell them what they want to hear. And then there's another post which has 43 comments. Please correct me if I'm wrong about anything. I'm very boomer when it comes to AI, but I feel weird about them using AI to explain their tarot card pulls. AI isn't always correct, and AI is influenced by your questions and will change over time. Wouldn't this start giving answers they want to hear? I don't know, but it just seems off to me. Yeah, and if they didn't understand the definitions or something, there are websites and apps specifically for teaching you tarot. So if it was just as simple as that, they could just go to one of those websites or apps. I think they're using ChatGPT specifically for the reason that everybody's like, well, surely it would do this. Yes, that's exactly why they're doing it. Like, what was the point of this? Well, what's the discussion? The episode? Like, obviously. I've not had time to watch it yet. Okay, cool, then shut up. You don't need to post that. Completely unnecessary. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that either. I do prefer they use their own senses more. I walk a location and study it and work on opening myself up. Then I get out the equipment. I think that's a big thing for them to work on, instead of diving straight in and immediately getting out the equipment. Good point. I can also agree with that. Like, I think they rely so heavily on the equipment because it is all aesthetic and it is all for show. The entire video and everything is for show. So that's why they're not doing that. But I think if you were actually going in and attempting to investigate properly, that would be a very good way to do it. Anyone else bothered by the movie label? I've been a fan of Twin Paranormal for a couple of years now and genuinely enjoy their content. However, I've been having mixed feelings about their new series. They've been incorporating more tarot readings lately, and while I know some viewers are into that, it's not really my thing. It also feels like they're relying heavily on tarot to guide the investigations, which is a big shift from their earlier videos and how they conducted them. But there is one specific thing that's been bothering me, and I'd love to hear your honest opinion on it. They've started referring to the episodes in this new series as movies. Personally, I don't like this, because when I hear movie, I think of something fictional or scripted. Hit the nail on the head. I've always believed that, at least for the most part, Twin Paranormal's content is genuine. Referring to it as a movie makes it feel less authentic. Like this is all for entertainment rather than an actual investigation. Am I overthinking this, or is anyone else feeling the same way? Yeah, I agree they're going down a very spiritual route instead of trying to debunk things. I hope it doesn't get worse because I'd have to stop watching. I'm not a fan of the movies label either. I think they're getting some of their ideas from the other guy they had on. I think his name is Colin. I'm not a fan of his. Glad I'm not the only one who's bothered by this. I wish they'd go back to calling it an episode. I've never watched Colin's content and I don't plan to. Not a fan of his, to be honest. Some very long shows, or as he would call them, movies. I've been a long time watcher and I've been really disappointed in the excessive use of tarot in most of their recent investigations. I think tarot as a method of communication is valid, but using ChatGPT to summarise your tarot pulls and then entirely rely on its information feels cheap and unauthentic. It's also disappointing to get less history on the locations and less of the more traditional methods. I love the boys and I love the longer runtime, just disappointed in the overall direction of things at the moment. And agreements. I agree I wouldn't mind the addition of tarot readings, but they seem to have cut out older methods, which for me personally were a great part of the videos. Take the Estes method as well. That, and is it just me, but the mid-roll ads are getting frustrating as well. I know the new series is longer videos, and I understand that ads need to run, but every 5 minutes seems excessive. I'm personally not sure if the ads are Twin Paranormal's fault, because I'm getting it on like everybody right now. It is bad. I think they're trying to pressure people into getting premium. Please no. I love the SS method and I wish they go back to using it in investigations. Does that mean they're not using it anymore? Should I be watching the new videos? I kind of do want to check out one of their new videos, especially if they're doing like a lot of tarot shit. But are they the 2-hour ones? Because I am not watching the entire thing. I will be skimming if it's a 2-hour video. I'm gonna be real. I'm not doing a 4-hour edit. I also missed the detailed history of locations at the beginning of the videos. That was something that endeared me to them. I love the paranormal, I love history, and when they put those two together, it made the episodes just go full gold. Loved learning about the past and the places and the people involved. I absolutely love the twins, but I have to agree with you, it's too long and sick of different people coming in, just stick with the 3 of you. I take a full 2 weeks to complete the video. By the time I decide to continue watching it, I forget the history of the location. I end up being lost on what's going on and what they're doing. I still think they should split nights 1 and 2 into 2 videos and upload weekly, but we have to respect that that's a new schedule, that new schedule is comfortable and convenient for them and their editors. Okay, I'm getting bored of hearing about the tarot now. Hi, I think the new episodes are providing a kind of closure. I do agree that it doesn't seem that the use of tarot is becoming... it does seem that the use of tarot is becoming more prevalent, but that's the only way to learn about them, is to play around until you begin to understand what they mean. A big however is that there are regional dialects when using them, which I think is why Ryan is using a guide. But he's not using a guide. If he was using a guide, I don't think people would have a problem. He's using ChatGPT. I would feel more uncomfortable if they began to use a Ouija board, because then they wouldn't know who was actually speaking to them is good or bad. Let's just unpack that one for a second. With tarot, you are using a physical item to talk to an invisible force. With an Ouija board, you are using a physical item to talk to an invisible force. So how is that different? Other than the fact that Ouija boards have a heavy stigma to them. They are both forms of divination. They are both ways to communicate with something that you cannot see, whether that is your own subconscious or something external. They are basically exactly the same, other than how you get the information. One is pretty pictures and numerology and symbolism, and the other is letters and numbers, but they are still the exact same thing. I feel the same way, haven't been loving the new episodes, honestly. I feel very bored in a way. I also made a post like this. I love them, but I don't like this movie format. I've stopped watching their content because I don't know. It doesn't feel like they're taking things seriously. Like it's just a show for them now. I never really liked them always being after some dark entity, but now I feel like they've lost me completely. I get what you mean. I don't like the tarot because they're obviously not real, while EVPs show evidence of something more. Same with voices and footsteps, that's what they need to focus on. Agreed, I personally don't like the way they use tarot cards on their own, especially since they aren't tarot readers and don't fully understand how to use it. I'm skeptical about the DR60 ever since I watched a debunking video, yay, good job, on it, but I do love when they catch voices, footsteps, knocks and taps on the microphones. So in a debunking video, it was said that when using a DR60 during investigations, it's best to set it down instead of holding it. Holding it can cause it to pick up noises like clothing, rustling, as they tend to turn their heads and look around when asking questions. This can easily be mistaken for voices, especially when those sounds are so close to the mic of the recorder. I trust it a lot more if they'd set it down and then answer questions. I know they do this sometimes, but I'd like to see them do it all the time, just so I can believe anything that comes through it. I would also like to add to that even if you set it down, it can still pick up its own mechanisms. The mic is so sensitive. It was recorded for a reason, but its microphone is so sensitive, it picks up its own internal mechanisms whirring. It's also so sensitive that you could have it set down over here, and this would still be picked up on it. Any movement, it would pick it up. And yeah, so just don't use it, full stop, basically. The thing is, it doesn't work. They know it doesn't work, and that's exactly why they use it. Oh my god. Whoever keeps reporting the comments here needs to stop. Disagreeing with their opinion doesn't promote hate. I fully support freedom of speech. Just please be respectful about it. It's even, I mean, Reddit is questionable at best, but it's even spilling over to the Reddit. People are reporting disagreements as hate speech. Has anyone else noticed a shift in Ryan's dynamic in recent videos? I genuinely enjoy their content and have been a long-time viewer. However, it's like people have to disclaimer themselves. All of these posts start with something like this. Like you have to disclaimer yourself, otherwise you're going to get attacked. However, I have recently noticed a change in Ryan's presence during the investigations. In the most recent video, it felt like he was steering the focus more towards himself, which left River and Wyatt with limited opportunities to share their insights or reactions. Ryan's responses also seemed a bit more exaggerated than usual, and his overall tone came off as more controlling. I'm still a fan of the series, but I'm curious if anyone else has picked up on this shift or if it's just me. Yes, they've noticed and blah 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 tarot. I had to bail on the last video because of the cheesy forced "Ryan, you're a psychic" crap. Sad times. Yes, exactly. I had to force to watch. I need more Wyatt content because he is very rational about stuff happening and want to prove if it can be something else. I mean, that's not something I've picked up on, but I haven't watched the newer videos, to be fair. I like the way Wyatt conducts himself during the investigations. He brings a thoughtful energy, and I wish we got to hear more of his perspective. Yeah, if something happens to Wyatt, I am more like, okay, something is going down over there. But if Ryan does it, then I'm like, he needs attention. Wow. The psychic thing seems so forced and ends up making the video a little less enjoyable for me. Yeah, that part made me cringe. It was very Zach and definitely felt forced. I hope they're not going down that road. I couldn't manage to watch the entire episode either. You're not wrong, however, I don't know if you remember, but River was hardly on camera in the beginning, especially after Nick left. Ryan definitely likes to be the centre of attention. I'm not saying that in a negative way. But again with the disclaimering. Was it ever mentioned why Nick left? I did a rewatch and he was just gone. No, they never said. Nick hasn't spoken to them since the last video they did together. They all made a promise not to talk about anything publicly. Ooh, when you make silence pacts, you know some real shit went down. Like, they have something on Nick, and Nick probably has that they're fake. And neither of them want that to come out. So silence pact. Love the drama of a silence pact. Their friendship broke down and they haven't spoken since. He didn't tell me exactly what happened that caused the friendship to break down, and I didn't ask. I found it really sad since they've been friends for 11 years. Something big went down to break off an 11-year friendship and then have a silence pact. That's why they never explained his absence or answered questions about him. Nick and his partner still live in Reno, doing ghost tours. Ryan's ego and chief mentality was obvious years ago. There hasn't been a video where he isn't performative and bossy and makes everything about him. People prefer Nick and Wyatt for a reason. Ryan never really bothered me up until recent videos. I liked how excited he would get, but now it just seems more forced than genuine. Probably going to do these two and then wrap up because I think we get the point. But Twin Paranormal video titles. I'm a fan and have been subbed for a while, but does anyone know why they use the same titles or very similar variation of the previous ones? Is it an inside joke I'm not getting or something? It makes keeping track of videos I've already watched extremely difficult. YouTube isn't exactly consistent in showing the red bar on videos people have watched already. Or always same title, we quit. Hard agree, very clickbaity. I commented on Colin Browan's video the other day and said, dude, if you would just put the name of the location, I would still click on it because I'm a fan. Same with Twin Paranormal. Agree, getting very repetitive, going through your history for now is your best bet of keeping track. The thumbnails same with most YouTubers for the algorithm. Scariest place we've been to with a picture like... I love them, but I noticed that too. Many channels have started doing, we almost died, or something similar. Silly. Oh god, they both have girlfriends, that's impressive. Am I the only one? The newer videos feel way less authentic and almost forced. It's very Ghost Adventures feeling. I still watch, but I miss the small investigations that had a real feel to them. I felt like that for the past 2 years. Yeah, once they started getting big. I've been watching since day one and they're losing all their charm. Yeah, I've seen this happen before. While I always wish people success, things change once they get really popular. The intimate feeling is gone. I'm not just talking about Twin Paranormal, it's a progression I've seen happen before in the entertainment industry. Same, it makes me so bummed. Right, like I want to like it, but it's so hard and I don't know why. It feels so inauthentic. Agree, love them, but it's always, oop, too scary, gotta leave, right when it's good. And anytime they hear something, they play a sound effect over it with no replay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about the Ghost Adventures style, which is proven to be heavily edited and fake. Well, if it's like Ghost Adventures, which is fake, you're almost there. Come on, you're almost there. You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. Highly, highly recommend Paranormal Files. His intros can take some getting used to because it makes his videos like 3 hours long, but they're completely authentic and he never fakes anything. He'll even replay raw audio if there's something he wants us to hear. He does Spirit Talker, DR60 and the Estes method every time. Yes, because they're all really credible, aren't they? He doesn't just run away when things start to get scary and say hit this many likes and I'll come back again. He finishes the job and I literally had paranormal experiences from his videos, believe it or not. I'm gonna go with not. And if you are that enraptured with somebody's content, you need to go touch grass and maybe see a doctor. Nobody is having paranormal experiences from anybody's video. Get off the internet and go hug a tree. Jesus Christ. Colin is the absolute best. I didn't like him at first, started watching his videos because they're so long, but now I love him and the twins videos don't feel authentic. I'm not going to read all of this because I don't think YouTube would like me, maybe? I don't know, but you can read it if you would like to. And every time they got activity at the end, they take their time to walk the spirits out of the front door into the light. You've been here for X years, you don't need to stay here. See that light? When we leave, follow us and go to that light. You'll be with your loved ones and away from here. Jesus Christ. No. That always endeared them to me. Anyways, they just stopped. The videos just seem so mainstream and for views only. It sucks. Popularity destroys some channels as they change. I hate that that's happened to the boys. Also, it was more intimate when their one friend was always in the vids a couple of years ago. He left for some reason. Yeah, it happens to disingenuous channels because with this, you can very much see that they were pulling on heartstrings and they were doing absolutely anything to get big. And they were emotionally manipulating people and now they're big. They don't have to do that anymore and masks come off. They don't have to mask anymore. Obviously, all channels evolve over time, but genuine people stay genuine no matter how big they get. If there's like a mask slip, it was never real to begin with. I agree, my husband and I have been watching them a couple of years and we both haven't been enjoying the new schedule of videos. On one hand, I can understand maybe it allows them more time for themselves, but I prefer the older videos. I don't like how they seem to end it or leave right when things just seem to start happening, if that makes sense. I think they're doing that because they're proving they get content or they're proving they get activity and go surreal and blah blah blah. But the debunkers can't debunk it and the debunkers can't rip them apart because there's nothing there. And it's also far less effort for them. They can just sit there doing nothing and milk it for like an hour, 2 hours, whatever, chatting, a little bit of history, mostly bullshit, fake investigating, and then right when things start to happen, oh, time to go. It's lazy. It's so inherently lazy, but it's working for them. I mean, their true fans are getting bored and tired of it and will probably end up, okay, I'm gonna stop screens, hang on. Their true fans are getting bored and tired of it and will probably unsubscribe, stop following. But they have those true diehard toxic fans that love absolutely anything they create and will go to the ends of the earth to defend them. And that's a problem. If you're getting that upset about anything, it could be FNAF, it could be this Ghost Hunter channel, it could be the Squid Games, it could be anything. It doesn't matter. If you were getting that upset to the point you are sending death threats, you are sending threats of harm, you are name calling, you are reporting for hate speech for somebody having a different opinion to you, you are the problem. Get off the internet, go hug a tree. Apparently this is becoming a phrase. Go see a therapist. I don't know. But that sort of mentality, unfortunately, is rife on the internet and is a problem. Anyway, that was our walk into the Twin Paranormal subreddit, and I think it really does help to see even where their own fans are at this point, because it's not a platform controlled by them. Like on YouTube and whatever, they could have moderators and auto filters and everything taking down the criticism. I don't know if they do, I'm just saying they could. But with somewhere like Reddit, where they're not the admins, obviously they could have like diehard fans that do the same thing, but it doesn't appear that that's the case with this one. And honestly, if that was the case and people still wanted to talk about it, they would just make a new Reddit, or they would just make a new subreddit. So I think it is very interesting to see their actual fans' perspective. And you can see it's not just the debunkers saying this stuff. Their own fans are saying it at this point. So, but let me know what you thought of the video. I absolutely adore hearing from you. If you have any ideas for any future videos on anything on my content, I would absolutely love to hear it. I'm crafting a list of things that I want to talk about and the things that I want to do. So feel free to add to it. But with that, I have rambled at you enough today, nearly an hour. So I don't think I could talk about Twin Paranormal that much, but apparently I can. But yeah, I will leave you to the rest of your day now. I hope it's a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye.